Thank you, Karen. Appreciate the introduction. And thank you to Kennesaw State and to the Abdur-Rahim family for including us, Bulls Nation, in this celebration of life for Coach Abdur-Rahim. It's a joyous occasion to have us all together because, look, we're all hurting. But the only thing worse than hurting is being alone. And when you look around here, none of us are going through this alone. See this facility packed to its rafters. We've got people watching all over the world online, all because brought together by an incredible man, an incredible person, in Amir Abdur-Rahim. Let us all make sure we live this life and legacy that he's dealing with. So in March of 2023 was the first time I ever had a chance to sit in person with Amir. We were in the midst of a coaching search. And our top priority was to find someone that could build real, authentic relationships with players. My goodness, did we hit a Freddie Freeman Grand Slam World Series home run in terms of that one. The first time we met was on my back porch at my house. We talked for a couple of hours. I don't think we talked one thing about basketball. He beamed about his family, who he loves dearly. He talked about how he was raised and mentored. He talked about his recruiting philosophy, and not about the types of players he was looking for in terms of basketball skills, but he continuously referred to finding players that had the right stuff. That was first and foremost. And he essentially closed his thoughts with me during that session, and I can still hear his voice telling me, and he says, "MK, I don't make any promises that I can't keep. But what I promise you is that we will have the most connected basketball team in college basketball." Well, you all know the rest of the story. You saw how that came together in the video that opened this celebration of life. And he certainly delivered on that promise with the young men that are here today and to those that came before them. But what he did was cultivate far more than connecting just that basketball team. Obviously, he did that same thing here at Kennesaw before, but when you think about what happened within a year's time, 18 months' time in Tampa Bay, he pulled together an entire university, an entire Tampa Bay community, one that he really hadn't spent much time in before, but the power of Amir and his family brought that together, and boy, we will never forget. And it's evidenced in terms of how he's brought the entire world together, in terms of the outpouring of love to this family, to everyone that's here today from all over in these past 72 hours. His true lessons had nothing to do with basketball, and his impact was sought and felt far beyond basketball. Just thinking about, I've reflected upon just, the impact on our university. It was special for our basketball players, but every single one of our 14 coaches wanted and asked Amir to come speak to their teams frequently. And no matter how busy he was, he's like, "Tell me when, I'll be there." Other student athletes from other teams that saw the magic that was happening with our basketball team wanted the same thing. Can Coach Amir come speak to us? They didn't have to ask. He was already at their practice voluntarily. He was throwing out the first pitch very uniquely, as you saw at the softball game when he shot the ball like a basketball. He was at the women's golf championship with our golf coach, voluntarily supporting those girls as they would quest for a championship. Just powerful. Those student athletes want to do it. Then you go to the next level with students. We have 50,000 students at the University of South Florida. And in a story that I hope you all read that's on the USF website by Joey Johnston, a very talented writer in the Tampa Bay community, he pointed out how there was a quote from a student that said, "I would go through a wall for Coach Abdur-Rahim." And in the story, it kind of said, was that a 5-star recruit? Was that one of his players? No, it was chemistry major. Believed in what he did to that university and saw what he did for that university. So, and gosh knows the fans, whether it's the SoFlo Rodeo, whether it was all the fans that kind of got behind that momentum, it was a movement. It was a movement. I was there at USF in an associated D role, as Karen said, 20 years ago. We sold out that place once when we hosted the University of Florida, and there's probably 50% Florida Gator fans in there. All right. We sold out the Yangling Center 3 times in a row under Amir Abdur-Rahim's leadership. And people said the first time, "Oh, that's because you're playing a top 25 team and you beat them, and that was cool." Nope. because then we came back the next time at 9 o'clock against an unranked team on a weeknight, and then did it again a week later on the same type of conditions. It was a movement. They loved him, they believed in him, and they saw what he was doing to the university. That was the magic of Amir. He understood the lesson that I learned from my professor in college, Dr. Maya Angelou, who he loved very much in terms of her work and her writings, is that we're all more alike than we are unalike. I'll say it again. We're all more alike than we are unalike. And he went out of his way to find that special link and bond with every single person, I'm sure, in this room, and every single person he met in the Tampa Bay community to find out what that link was. All of you have that special story that's in your mind, or a special thing, whether you knew him for 43 years or whether you knew him for 18 months or even a day you met him when he was buying you coffee in the student union. He had an uncanny ability to find that link and to make that person feel really, really special. And so as we all find a way to celebrate and figure out a way to continue this legacy, I want us to let's learn from that. How do we all find that common bond in everyone we meet and make them feel special? Because the world was a better place because of Amir Abdur-Rahim, and it will continue to be a better place each and every day if we follow that lesson and find that common link and realize that we're more alike than we are unalike and make everybody feel really, really special. So we at the University of South Florida are very grateful that Amir and the family decided to share part of his remarkable journey with us. It was a magical ride, and we promise to make sure his legacy lives on in our community and our students forevermore. And in closing, I certainly can't do it justice, so I'm going to ask your help. But for the Bulls, you know what I'm talking about. And for the Owls and for everyone else, we have the horn signal, which we do this, and we say, "Go Bulls." But he had an uncanny way when he closed it to say it really with a huge emphasis on the Bulls, all right? So, and on the count of three, we're all going to do that. All right, we're going to say go, and then you really hit the Bulls, all right? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go Bulls! God bless. Thank you. Thank you.